It's right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Mindset Call. We have a new book and a new theme. Who's excited? Come on now. Find the chat box. Let me know that you are excited and raring to go, okay? And let's see. Let me see if I can pull up the chat box. So each and every Monday, guys, between 9 and 9:15, we are here. Normally it's 9:15, so we've come a little bit earlier. But that's absolutely fine because we are going to be talking about today the 4 agreements. Has everyone got their book? If you have your book, show your book, wave your book. Let me know that you have your book. I can see Michelle, I can see there with your book. I can see Marsha with your book. Let me know if you've got your book in the chat box. Excellent. And we're looking, this is going to be a really good book for this month. I absolutely love this book. Reading it over again and really going through this book this month in Just Do It July, okay? Now, I titled Just Do It July because I wanted us to get into a place of taking action. And I know we always hold each other accountable to take action, but I mean action without too much worry, too much thought, too much, considering all the aspects and just doing it, okay? That's what this month is about, just doing it. Stop worrying about, what you think may happen and thinking 5 steps ahead. Just do it and just do it now. That's what this month is all about, Just Do It July. And in Just Do It July, we're looking at the 4 agreements. And it starts with chapter 1, which is domestication and the dream of the planet. Now, I'm going to tell you a quick story before we get into that, guys. I am still in my netball uniform, as you can see. And I actually got home in time to, to change and to shower and I didn't want to take it off. Are we allowed to have like a nice real conversation on here? I cut all my nails off specifically so I could play. And I'm angry. I am angry, guys. Like, I'm angry. And I didn't realize how competitive I actually am. And it really got me thinking, and you guys talk to me in the chat box so I know that we're all singing from the same hymn page. But how you do anything is how you do everything. And I realized that I just have a mindset of a winner. I hate losing. I hate losing. I don't play to lose. I don't want to lose. I understand that losing is a part of the game and you do have to lose at times, but I hate losing. I don't want to lose. I don't play to lose. Have you ever been around some people that are like, oh, it's the taking part that counts? No, it's not. It's the winning that counts. It is I know this may sound harsh, and I know they didn't teach us this at school. And I know they especially in this country, United Kingdom, they teach you that it's the taking part that counts in school. I do not teach my kids that. It is the winning that counts. In life, you must win more than you lose. Otherwise, you are a loser, right? It's that simple. I don't like losing. I don't manifest losing. I don't speak about losing, and I don't enjoy losing. Losing for me is not a part of my vocab. I do not like to lose. I'm not a loser. I don't want to lose. I don't want to be around losers. I don't want to speak about losing. I don't want anyone to encourage losing. I don't want anyone to celebrate losing. Losing is not in my DNA. And I didn't realize, guys, we were just playing a friendly. And I was getting angry. So, in netball, you have 4 quarters, right? So you have first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, fourth quarter, exactly. And you lot know I'm the goal shooter. And the first quarter, I had no shots. Like, I didn't even get the ball to be able to shoot. So I wasn't getting fed the ball, and I didn't get the ball. I just didn't get the ball. I didn't even have a chance, right? Second quarter, I come on, second quarter, and I had 2 shots. Scored 1, missed 1. But at this point, I'm angry, guys, because I'm still not getting the ball. Still not getting the ball. I'm angry. But here's what happened the third quarter. Your girl changed her tactics. In the third quarter, I was like, I ain't sitting in my normal position waiting for the ball. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go out and get it. I now have to shift my positioning And I now have to go further afield. I now cannot stay my normal tactic. I can't keep doing what I was doing before because I am not getting fed the ball. Now, admittedly, I had a different team. You know, some people were new, there were different people. And so the normal synergy or whatever you want to call it wasn't there, right? And so third quarter, I changed my tactic. Third quarter, I went out. Third quarter, got shot 4 shots. Last quarter, went out, and I had more possession than I did in the last quarter. I think I shot around 4 or 5 in the last quarter. Felt better because I was out. I wasn't stuck in goal shooter. I changed position completely and went to goal attack. Right? Why am I saying? I'm saying this because this is how life is. Have you ever been around a set of people, a team at work that are not playing the game how you want them to play the game? Have you ever been around, ever been in any relationship where the game is not played the way you want it to play? And I could be like, in life, we could be like me in the first 2 quarters, just get angry, sit and complain, expect that, the pieces are going to fall into place. But here's the thing, I realized that this whole thing called life is a team effort. This whole thing called life, you cannot do it by yourself. But what you can do is you can reshift your strategy. What you can do is you can, shift things up a bit, change the way you play the game. How many of you know that you got to change the way you're currently playing the game? That this game called life, this road called life is not plain sailing. It's not just going to be one straight road. There's going to be times where you have to shift. The goal is still the same. You still know where you want to go. But there's times where you may need to shift. There's times when you have to throw the ball to a different player because you realize that player over there keeps dropping the ball. There's times when you realize that you may have to shift up your strategy just a little bit. I realized that the way I was passing to one player, every time I passed it to her in that way, she dropped it. So guess what I had to do to support her? I had to bounce the ball. I couldn't keep throwing it to her straight because she kept dropping it. Right? How many of you keep playing the same game with the same people and expecting them to do something different? You've got to re-strategize in order to get to the result in which you want. So if you want to get to a certain type of area, you want to get promotion, you want to be able to have a better relationship, you want to be able to have a better business, but yeah, you keep playing the same game as I was in quarter 1 and quarter 2. So I had to shift, guys. Someone type in the chat, shift. I had to shift my strategy. I had to reanalyze. I had to think on my feet. I couldn't wait till the end of the game to analyze. I'm seeing the game ain't going the way I want. So I had to think there. I had to just do it there and then. Sometimes you have to make some quick decisions. Sometimes you have to say, okay, this ain't working. Let me just divert here. The goal's still the same, but let me just divert over here. In life, guys, you are going to be around people that play different parts to the game. You're going to have people, you're going to have players in your life that are playing different parts to the game. And you've got to be, you've got to be smart enough. You have to discern enough to know how to use, and have relationships with different people with the game that you're playing called life. And so quarter 1 and quarter 2, I'm running around and not getting the ball, and I'm sweating, I'm busting sweat, I'm working hard. And I'm like, yo, I haven't made one shot. I haven't even had the ball. I can't even get the ball. What's going on? I'm getting frustrated. I'm getting mad. I'm getting angry. I don't even know who I'm getting angry at. And I'm getting angry. First quarter comes off. I come off, we have a 2-minute break. I'm drinking my drink. And I'm like, yo, I'm saying to the players, I don't even get the ball. I didn't even get the ball once. How many times have you looked at your situation, or you've looked at something and you're angry about it? Or you see something you don't like and you're angry about it? But guess what I did? I went on second quarter and played exactly the same game. And so I came off now half angry, even more angry than I was the first half. And something shifted in my mind on the third quarter, and so I'm going to shift this game up. I ain't gonna stay in the center now. I'm gonna come out the center. I'm gonna come out not my third. I'm gonna come out where I shoot. I'm gonna come out from where I shoot. right? I'm going to come out from where I'm shooting. And I'm going to go deeper. I'm going to go deeper and I'm going to collect the ball a little bit deeper. Because I can't expect the plays to always come to me. I've got to go to the play. That's a word for somebody. You sitting there expecting life to just change and things to just happen. You've got to go to the play. You've got to put yourself in the environment. You've got to put yourself in the environment to be a champion, to be a winner. And you can't talk defeat to yourself. I realized when I came off first half and I was like, guys, I ain't had the ball. Did that help the team? Did that do anything to the team? Did that help strategy? Sometimes our own mouth is not, we don't even realize. It's like, yo, that's even a negative statement. How am I going to come off quarter, half? And I'm like, guys, I ain't had the ball. How does that help? So I realized this half time and I'm like, yo, I know it's a friendly. It's a friendly, yo, but I'm mad. I don't want to be around losers. And you could see some of the team, their head were down. While we were watching the other team bang goals in, and we like my team almost gave up. I'm like, yo, what's going on over here? I don't roll with losers. We better wake up, yo. So I whispered into one of, the goal attack, and I said, listen, when I run forward, you split. When I go on the left, you go on the right. Like, we start communicating now. I said, listen, I'm going to start coming out. I'm not going to be the goal shooter that's hanging around at the back no more. I'm going to start coming forward. So communication had to be right. Who do you need to communicate with to switch strategy a little bit? So I start communicating with her. And guess what, guys? Third quarter, we started banging goals. Shifted it a bit. And fourth quarter, I was like, listen, you go and go shoot. I'm coming goal attack, my girl. You get in at the goal shooter. And goal attack, we ripped it apart. We won that section because we weren't counting. It was a friendly. I was counting. I don't know about them, but I was counting. No one weren't counting. I was counting. It was a friendly. It weren't friendly. Like, I was angry. I was angry, guys, because I'm not a loser. How I do anything is how I do everything. I win. I'm a champion. I don't roll with losers. I don't think about losing. Losing ain't in my DNA. Losing is not something I thrive on. I don't talk about losing. I don't lose. I win. I win. I'm a winner and I win. Everything I do, I win. How many of you think about your life like that? Or do you have a defeatist attitude? Some people allow life to do them instead of them doing life. How many of you give up? How many of you just accept defeat? I don't accept defeat. I will fight to the end. And I started to think about what it says in this book. And for those of you that just jumped on, this is our book for the month. If you haven't bought it, if you've bought it, put a 7. If you need to buy it, put an 8. This is the 4 agreements, okay? It's a book full of wisdom. The 4 agreements. Let me see. Everyone should be answering in that chat. If you bought it, 7. If you need to buy it, 8, okay? The 4 agreements. Next day delivery, you can get this, okay? The 4 agreements. Now, we're not going to talk about the 4 agreements today. We're going to go into the first 2 sections. You have the domestication and the dream of the planet, and the first agreement, which is to be impeccable with your word. Right? Now, let me talk to you about what stood out for me in the first chapter, the domestication and the dream of the planet. Basically, what it's saying is we all can dream. In fact, we are all dreaming 24 hours a day. We're dreaming right now in this moment. Our brain dreams when we're awake and we dream when we're asleep, right? But it says the difference is when the brain is awake, the material, okay, that frames our mind is what we have recently bought into, right? So before we were born, okay, the world has already been created and our parents have shown us through religion, schools, and all different things, the things that they want us to believe. So we've bought into certain things based on, how we've been brought up. So our dreams have almost been molded by how our parents brought us up, right? And then the book goes on to talk about how our dreams is what is hooked by our attention. I want you to get this, guys. You're hooked by what you put your attention into. It actually says attention is the ability we have to discriminate and to focus on only what we perceive. So whatever we perceive as important, whatever we perceive as fact, that's what we focus on, whether it is right or wrong, whether it's true or false. If we were taught it, then it's going to happen. How many of us have heard me use this example? My mum taught me about rice and peas on a Sunday. She told me if I didn't learn to cook, clean, wash, no man would ever want me. If I didn't cook rice and peas every Sunday, no man would ever want to marry me. Those things were taught to me. We call, Bob Proctor calls them the paradigm. Okay, these things were taught to me, programmed to me, that I believe them, even though they're not true. If you're still cooking rice and peas every Sunday, if you're still vigorously cleaning your house yourself and you don't have a cleaner for £10 an hour and you think that's what's going to get you and keep you a man, let me tell you, it's a lie. You can clean as much as you like and a man can still leave you. You can cook rice and peas as much as you like and he can still cheat on you. It's a lie. These paradigms that our parents taught us are not true. They are lies. But depending on what we've been brought up on, we have believed that dream. That dream has been sold to us because of our upbringing. It also says the adults around us hooked our attention and put information into our minds through repetition. Someone write that word in the chat, repetition. So repetition is what gets your mind hooked on the things that you put attention to and believe, and whatever you put attention to, you discriminate against and you believe, right? So when you were in school, the teacher was like, good girl, or you're being naughty, you're going in the naughty corner. So certain words have been taught to us and certain things have been taught to us. You know what I love about this book? It actually says that the only way to store information is by agreement. We have to agree with it. So if we think that, praising other people and doing our work on time and sitting down quietly on the carpet is good and we're going to get well done, we will do those actions because the teacher is going to tell us well done, yes or yes. And some of us have brought that into our adult life. That's where people pleasing comes from, guys. Right? And we have to really pay attention to some of these agreements that we've made from young childhood to, school days, church. Some of these things come from all different places. So if we don't agree to the information, then we won't store the information. So as soon as we agree, we believe it, and this is called faith. To have faith is to believe unconditionally. So it works in both ways. So if you have parents that brought you up that said, you can be anything that you want to be and you can do all things and you are a billionaire and you can do this, you will wake up and you will believe that that is what you can do because through repetition, that's what's been sown into you. But if you've been brought up in a way to have a lack mindset, to worry about money, turn off one light before you go into another room because we need to save light because we're going to run out, the lack mentality. Don't talk to strangers because everyone wants to get at you. The fear factor. Don't start nothing new. Grow up and get a good job. Don't you dare take any risks. Don't do lending. Don't get credit cards because you're going to get yourself in debt. All these things, I don't know if your parents said any of those things to you, but all those things supply you with information that the book calls the hook of our attention, to which we then store these things. And then guess what we do? We train our children the same way. So what happens is we train our children whom we love so much the same way that it's almost like this domesticated animal. How we teach, when you say to a dog, good dog, good boy. And then the dog gets the little bone. And if he's bad, you say, no, you're a bad boy. Go and sit over there. And it's almost like we teach those principles. So by the time we're grown-ups, guess what happens, guys? We don't need anyone to celebrate us or promote us, celebrate us or punish us. We do it ourselves. So we crave the celebration and we punish ourselves. How many of you have been punishing yourself for something that happened years ago? You know, I spoke to my baby brother today and we were talking about this book, and he says to me, Nick, do you know I've been punishing myself for something that happened over 10, 15 years ago? I said, you need to let it go. Why do you keep punishing yourself? Why do you keep saying to yourself, you know, he lost a job and he's still not gotten over losing that job? And I said to him, you've had many jobs since then, but he cannot get over that job. And I said to him, you've got to stop punishing yourself. What happened has happened. But because we were trained that every behavior needs either a celebration or a punishment, good boy, good girl, bad girl, we don't even need anyone to tell us we're bad girls anymore or bad boys. We punish ourselves. And how do we punish ourselves? We punish ourselves by what we speak out of our mouth to ourselves, what we say to ourselves. We don't take risks. We don't even value ourselves to invest in ourselves because we don't believe we're worth it. We won't put ourselves in an environment of growth because we don't believe we're worth it. How many of us, you know, I spoke to somebody and she was saying to me, I was in America, and she said to me, do you know what? She said to me, I can't afford, there was a church retreat that was happening. And she said she can't afford to go on the church retreat. And then she corrected herself and was like, you know what? But I've spent in alcohol 10 times that amount that year. And I said to her, you know why? Because you don't believe you're worth it. You don't believe that you have the value enough to pour into yourself, that you're worth pouring into yourself. You're punishing yourself for something that has happened many, many years ago. So you believe that you can spend 10, like how many of you have ever spent £10, £5 and it's nothing? And you can spend that £5, £10, 100 times and it's £1,000. But for you to take the straight £1,000 out and invest in yourself, you have an issue with that. Come on, talk to me, somebody. Like, I have no problem investing in myself anymore. I used to be like that. I used to want to justify, like, this is a big amount. How many of you have ever spoken like lack over yourself and said, oh, that's expensive, or that's a lot of money. Oh my gosh, where's that going to go? But you spend it in little tiny pieces on things that don't matter to you whatsoever and doesn't actually feed into you. But it's because you don't believe you're worth it, because you've been punishing yourself, not because you're bad, not because you've done this terrible act, but because the way that we've been taught is that if we do a bad thing, we have to sit on the naughty step, and we're only good when someone claps for us. Like the, what does the book call it? The domesticated animal, that we need someone to say, well done. We need someone to say, good job. When we went against the rules, we were punished. When we went along with the rules, we got a reward. We were punished many times a day, and we were also rewarded many times a day too. You know, when I read this book the first time, I had to really question my parenting. I was like, how often do I praise my children? And what am I teaching my children that praise is for? And how often do I tell them off? Do I tell them off, or do I educate them? You know, I'm not a perfect parent. I don't think there is such thing as a perfect parent, you know, and I'm working on my language with my children. I think it's very important the way that we spend time with them, how we speak with them. I don't use words like good boy, bad boy, naughty girl, good girl. I don't use those words. I do my best not to say negative words over them, because I know this stuff sticks. You know, I remember growing up, you know, my mum, all words used to come out of her mouth. And thankfully for me, you know, I was emotionally intelligent enough to know that she still loved me. But for, you know, one of my sisters, damage. And so we must be careful, because it says soon we become afraid of being punished, and also afraid of not receiving the reward. The reward is the attention that we got from our parents or from other people like siblings, teachers, and friends. We soon develop a need to hook other people's attention in order to get the reward. The reward feels good, and we keep doing what others want us to do in order to get the reward. With that fear of being punished and that fear of not getting the reward, we start to pretend to be what we are not, just to please others, just to be good enough for someone else. Can we end this live right now? Can we end this call right now, guys? How many of us have been in a place where we don't even act ourselves? How many of us have been in a place where we are pretending to be somebody else just to please somebody else? I have done it, guys. I've done it in relationships. I've done it in business. I've done it in friendships. Let me tell you, I'm gonna just keep it. Can we keep it real on here? Let me tell you what I did for one of my friends, people pleasing. On my credit card, I paid for an entire holiday for her. Food, flight, the works. Then, when we came back, paid for her to join my network marketing business. This is not this network marketing business, my first network marketing company. After I paid for her, I then signed 2 people up and placed them under her. After I did that, I placed everybody under her until she got to $600 a month. And then she turned around and quit on me. I blame myself. Because that was people pleasing. You can turn around and say, oh, I wanted to help her. I knew she didn't have no money. She didn't have no money. And I did want to help her. But the bottom line is I also wanted her to say, thank you, Nikki. You really helped me out. Can we be honest on here that some of us have a need for praise? I don't need it anymore, guys. I know that I'm going to do things from the best of my heart. And if it's going to damage me, if it's going to put me out, I can confidently say no without any issue. It is time, guys, to understand the rules of the game that you're playing. Let me read you something that the book says, okay? The domestication is so strong that at a certain point in our lives, we no longer need anyone to domesticate us. We don't need mom or dad, the school or the church. We are so well trained that we are our own domesticators. Ha! We are an automesticated animal. And we can now domesticate ourselves according to the same belief system we were given and using the same system of punishment and reward. We punish ourselves when we don't follow the rules according to our belief system. We regard ourselves when we are the good boy or good girl. The belief system is like a book of law that rules our mind. Without question, whatever is in that book of law is our truth. We base all of our judgments according to the book of law, even if these judgments go against our own inner nature. Ladies and gentlemen, what does that mean? It means even if it don't make sense, because it's in us, because we've been programmed, our paradigm is telling us this is the right thing to do. Our paradigm's telling us this is bad. Our paradigm's telling us this is good. It's going to feed that part of me that needs to be celebrated. It's going to feed that part of me that's not going to disappoint anyone. It's going to feed that part of me. And here's what we do. We then start to be somebody that we are not. And ultimately what happens, ladies and gentlemen, we become unhappy. 95% of the beliefs we have stored in our minds are nothing but lies. And we suffer because we believe all these lies. Someone type in the chat some of the lies you've believed that you know are not true about you. Come on now. What's some of the lies? I told you some of mine. My mom told me no man ain't never going to want me if I didn't learn how to cook, clean, wash, and I wasn't doing all of that stuff every single day. If I didn't cook rice and peas every Sunday, my man would leave me. It is a lie. She told me if I didn't clean skirting boards every week, I would not have a man. What else did you tell me? Let me break some of these stuff down for you. If you went to school, college, university, got a good job, you will be happy. That's a lie, right? Lies, the lies, the lies, the lies. And how many of us believe this stuff? And the worst part is, how many of you are teaching your children the same thing? How many of you are speaking to your children in a way, right? I got convicted by this, a few years ago, and I've done my utmost best. And I'm still working on it. Yes, I'm business-minded. Yes, I'm focused. Yes, I'm driven. But I don't want to go the other way. I don't want to be chasing a bag so much that my children are like, who's my mom? Who's mum? Why is she talking? Anytime mum talks to me, it's because she's angry. How many of you remember your parents just being angry all the time? That's me. I remember my mum was angry all the time. So when I became an adult, I was like, mate, I've never heard you say I love you. I've heard you cuss me to wash the plates. I've heard you cuss me to clean the skirting boards. I've heard you cuss me to iron my uniform. I just heard all this cussing and anger and direction and this, that. But I don't remember you saying, let's have a family movie. If any of you watch my stories, you see that every single Sunday, me and my children, we hang out. In fact, Saturdays and Sundays, family movie. I'll be intentional with my children. I want to make sure that I don't repeat some of the stuff. And I don't blame my mom because she's going by what she taught. And probably in 20 years' time, when my son's talking, he's going to say some of the things that I did that he probably, needs to address. But we've got to understand this stuff, guys. This stuff is important because here's the thing. If your paradigm is like, well, it's the taking part that counts, you're forever going to be a loser. I'm just going to be honest. You are forever going to accept losing because there's something in your gut. When you are a winner, there's something in your gut that fights. I don't want to take this off. Listen, after this call, I'm going into my garden. I'm going to practice. I'm going to start shooting because there's something in me that says I have to win. I am a winner. I don't accept defeat. And I don't roll with losers. I want to roll with people that say, listen, let's win this thing. I don't hear excuses. I don't hear no problems. We're going to win and we're going to make it happen. That's my paradigm. I want to be around winners. I don't want to be around people that tell me and help me change my paradigm. No, it's the taking part that counts. You know what happened, guys? When I first moved up here, they wanted to make me feel bad. And I was intentional. I'm just spilling the beans right now. I came up here and we have this little, Wealth Wednesdays every Wednesday. And I've been going every Wednesday. I created it. And everyone rolls out, whole community, we roll out every Wednesday. And they were like, oh, you're so glamorous. And one week I dressed down. I wore like my tracksuit. I was like, this ain't me. Why am I wearing? Because I'm now wanting to fit in with them because they were talking down on me that I was glamorous. I was like, hold up now. I was like, no, we ain't playing this game. We ain't playing this game. Let me intimidate you by me dressing up. But for me, it's standard because no, you don't love yourself enough to make an effort. You don't love yourself enough to put your best foot forward. You don't love yourself enough to take that extra 5 minutes to have a think about what you're going to put on. You don't love yourself enough to consider that your exterior and how you look has an impact on the people that you connect with, has an impact on potentially the success that you have. And so I had to flip the script. You see, it's either they are influencing you or you're influencing them. And I realized I can't be influenced by people that don't have the results that I want. I can't be influenced by thoughts, things, people that are going to take me to a paradigm or make me feel like a domesticated animal. How many times have you rolled over when you should have been fighting? I'm guilty. But here's what I do. I analyze it a lot quicker now. So you see, it happened to me 1 week. I snapped out of it straight away. But how many people are not snapping out of it? How many people consistently don't invest in themselves? Consistently fall short? How many people consistently people please? How many people consistently put themselves in an environment, a feeling, a mindset, and just say, well, that's how it is. It's the taking part that counts. I'm just going to, this is how my life just is. It's always been like this. And, there's no way that anything can change. The devil is a liar. Let me tell you today that what you agree to, right? What you agree to. And this is the first chapter, right? The first, we're going to go into the second chapter, which is the first agreement, which is being impeccable with your word. Being impeccable with your word. So important to be impeccable with your word. How many of you, right? We get upset when people are not, people of their word. How many of you have ever been disappointed by somebody? They said they were going to do something and didn't do it. Have you ever been somewhere, you're meant to meet someone and you've invested time, maybe money on a train or petrol, and you've driven all the way there and then they don't show up? Have you ever, borrowed someone money and they said they were going to pay you back on a certain date and they still ain't paid back? How do you feel when somebody isn't person of their word? What does it make you feel like? How many of you have ever said never again? You ever said that? Never again. They ain't gonna get that from me again. Never again. You know that there's a saying that says your word is your bond. Without your word, you have nothing. And this agreement, the first agreement, says to be impeccable with your word. It says it's the most difficult one to honor. It is so important. This first agreement, you will be able to transcend to the level of existence. The first agreement is to be impeccable with your word. It sounds very simple, but it is very, very powerful. How many people know that if somebody you trust, they say they're going to do something and you trust that they're going to do them, you don't even think twice. There's some people that I know, when they say they're going to do something, I know they're going to do it because I trust their word. And there are some people that when they say they're going to do something, I'll double check because I don't trust their word. You got to be impeccable to it. It says your word is the power that you have to create. Your word is the gift that comes directly from God. And regardless of what language you speak, your intent manifests through the word. Wow. Your intent manifests through the word. So when I was playing today, and I came off the first quarter, second quarter, and was like, guys, no one's throwing the ball to me. Guess what I was doing? I was manifesting. When I came off the first quarter and said that, I manifested that into the second quarter because I kept saying, the first quarter, no one's throwing the ball to me, guys. I haven't had one shot. I haven't shot, guys. But when I changed my language after the second quarter, and I started to say, look, this is the move we're going to do. We're going to shift this up. Your word is the power to create. How do you speak? What are you creating with your tongue? It says, depending on how you use it, the word can set you free or it can enslave you even more than you ever know. I was at convention in Orlando. Shout out to those of you that came. And we was in Orlando. And one of my friends, I absolutely love her. She had on the highest heels that anyone could ever see. The heels were so high. And she tripped on stage, almost toppled over. But when she came out, when she stood up, she said out of her mouth, I kept saying before I came on stage, I better not fall. She manifested that fall because she spoke it out of her mouth. I want you to understand the power of your tongue and the power of speaking what it is that you desire. And I know we've been teaching this. I know Dr. David, those of you that have exposure to my mentor, he's been saying this, I've been saying this, but I want you to be intentional. This is Just Do It July. Can you be intentional and say to yourself, I don't care if you think you have the money. I don't care if you think you have the time. I don't care if you think you have the skill sets. Can you open your mouth and say, I'm going to go to that event. I'm going to do that thing. I'm going to write my book. I'm going to open my business. Can you open your mouth and begin to speak it? I dare you to speak it for 30 days, guys. I dare you to open your mouth every single day and begin to speak out of your mouth what it is that you desire. I dare you. Because the word says, that the book says that the word is your power. So how are you using your power right now? Are there some things that you need to shift from hearing and speaking? You know, one of my mentees called me up, and I'm not going to mention their name. Said, Nikki, I don't know what's been going on, but my mood over the last 6 months, down. My mood over the last 6 months, I've been down. I've been feeling frustrated. I've been feeling really tired. I've been feeling like just a disaster. I've been feeling like, you know, just helpless. Unsuccessful. I'm not getting results. I'm not doing that. And I asked 2 questions. And I said, the first thing is, who have you been speaking to? Because I haven't heard from you in 6 months. Do you know that the persons that you are allowing to speak into your ear gates is the reason why you're down? If you're speaking to me or you're speaking to somebody positive, you cannot come off the phone and feel worse. You must feel fired up. You must have a plan. You must feel like you've got something to shoot for. But you see, when you're listening to people that think like you in that moment, or you're listening to people that are down, negative, having problems, speaking what they see, guess what happens? You also begin to feel down. Misery loves company. But not just that, guys. Sometimes it's not intentional. People are not intentionally negative. You have some people that are just negative naysayers. But there are some people that genuinely don't realize that their words are seed. So you pick up the phone and you say to your girl, like, hey, oh, it's been crazy. Like, I've just been busy. I've been, you know, I've been tiring, this business and, you know, the children. And they come on with you and they're like, yeah, I know, man, it's been rough. Maybe you need a holiday. Maybe you need to take some time out. They think they're being helpful, but what they're doing is they're helping you dig deeper into your pity party cycle. I once had someone say to me, Nikki, I didn't call you because I didn't want to be pulled out. That's fine. If you want to stay stuck, you intentionally are not going to contact those that are going to pull you out. How many of you know? Let me tell you this, guys. I'm just going to be honest. When I was, you know, going to clubs and that, I wouldn't call Auntie Anne because I knew she would start preaching the word to me. She was going to start, you know, giving me the word of God and telling me I didn't really need to do that. That wasn't going to help me. She wouldn't be judging, but I knew I could ring her. Like, I have my girls, and this is recorded, but I have a little girl code. Okay, so we see something on the internet. It's not really that we're going to repost it on our Instagram, but I may share it. I see my girl Charmaine. I may share it with Charmaine. I may share a few things with my girls. I'm not going to share with Auntie Anne. Right? You know who you could share things with based on the responses that you are going to get back. You know the response. You know the response you want back. So you don't message the person that's going to hold you accountable because really you don't want to be held accountable. You want to just moan. You want to stay in a pity party. But here's the thing. There are certain people in your life that have been called to bless you, but you don't want to connect with them because it's too much hard work. It's going to pull you out of your comfort zone. It's going to make you feel like you got to be a better person. It's going to make you feel that you got to be held accountable. It's going to make you feel that you got to shift the paradigm that we've been taught for all these years, and you don't want to do that. So guess who you call? You call a friend that's going to just massage your ego, make you feel like, okay, you know, no, you need to be challenged. It's challenge that's going to help you grow. It's challenge that's going to put you on board. And I'm telling you this right now. You see me? I'm going to be very, very clear with you. Those of you that I mentor personally, it's a matter of fact. It's either black or white for me. I can improvise for 5 seconds. Then we're moving into, okay, what are we going to do about it? We ain't going to sit there talk about the problem for long. And if I mentor you and you know that's fact, type fact in the chat. But guess what? I'm going to pull you out. Don't call me if you want to be the, hey girl, yeah, and he did that, and no way. I'm going to pull you out. So you know who you have in your life who can pull you out, but you don't want to do it. You know why? Because you don't want to invest the mindset, because it's going to make you feel uncomfortable. It may make you feel embarrassed. It may make you feel embarrassed. It may make you feel scared. It may make you put your attention to things that's going to make you shake. It may make you have to invest some money. Some of you guys ain't booked onto the retreat. Some of you guys ain't booked into the event. And you say you want change, but you're not putting yourself in the environment to change. You see, you think that this is for me. You think you're investing in me. You think that you're investing in, like, I'm making money for you. Let me tell you this, guys. What is going to take place at these events is going to be life-changing. But you see, you don't really want to fight for yourself. You don't really want to see yourself as a champion. You don't want to see yourself as a winner. You want to stay where you are. And then you want to pretend and say, oh, okay, yeah, cool. I'm just, I don't know why this is happening to me. No, you do know why. You do know why. The reason why it's happening is because you're not willing to do what it takes. Let me just end it here to say this, guys. The agreements that you've made, whether they're true or false, are true for you. Let me repeat that. The agreements that you've made, whether they are true or false, the fact that you've agreed with it is true for you. Those of you that are spiritual, let me just rephrase it in another word. Whatever paradigm you are on, that's how God is going to bless you. How does it work? You determine the parameters of your blessing. You determine the parameters, right? There's a person in the Bible and God was like, okay, go home, fast and pray. He's like, no, just say the word and I'll be healed. Said the word, he was healed. Then you had another lady. She was like, if I can just touch the hem of your garment, I'll be healed. So she set the parameter. She said, if I can just touch the hem of your garment, I'll be healed. But how come another one can say, just say the word and I'm healed? How can another one be touch my eye and I'm healed? You set the parameter. Whatever you believe, that's what it is. Oh, you guys ain't getting it. You guys ain't getting this thing. What am I saying? You're saying, well, when I have more money, that's when I'll launch my business. That's why it's true for you. You're saying, when I lose weight, that's when I'll go on a shopping spree and buy some new clothes and look attractive. That's why it's not happening for you. You're saying, well, when my mom agrees, or when my partner agrees, or when this happens, you are setting the parameter for your success. Let me tell you this right now. It's Just Do It July. What are you going to just do? It's the agreement that you make. Whatever you agree on, that's what it is. That's the beautiful thing about it. You get to agree. If you decided right now that for the next 30 days, you agree, for the next 30 days, you agree that you're going to launch your book, do you think you might get a book? Do you think that something may shift? If you agree with yourself that for the next 30 days, you're not going to speak negative about yourself, for the next 30 days, you're going to be open and receptive to the blessings and the opportunities that God puts in your life, do you not think that you're going to start seeing it? Because the paradigm you set for yourself is what happens. How? I know this, guys. I opened my mouth and I said I wanted the Renault Megane. This is my first car. I was 18 years old and all I saw was the Renault Megane everywhere around me. Was it the only car around? No, but it's the only one that got my attention. What does the book say? Let's read it again, guys. The book says, the only way to store information is by agreement, okay? Let me just go back to it. Let me find it. Right? Whatever we believe, that's the standard. Right? Whatever we believe, we start to domesticate ourselves. Right? As soon as we agree, as soon as we agree, the information is stored. So what information are you going to store in your mind today? What information, what do you need to grow? What do you need to get to the next level? What do you need to enhance yourself? And trust me, I'm doing the work too, guys. I had to shift today in netball. I had to catch myself speaking negative. And some people are like, well, it's not negative, you're just stating reality. Yeah, when me and my husband first got together, that's what he used to say. It's not negative. I'm just saying the facts. No, it's negative. I don't want to hear it. Speak life. Speak future. Don't speak present to me. No one's giving me the ball. Well, that's present. Here's what happened when the game changed. When I said, "Hey, what, girl? When you see me run to the left, you run to the right." Boom! I'm speaking future. But when I was saying ain't no one giving me the ball, what was happening? The same of what I was saying. What are you speaking right now, guys? Be very, very intentional with what you're speaking. And then when you speak it, be impeccable with your word. Be impeccable with your word. No pity party. Don't give yourself an excuse. If you tell yourself, oh, I'm tired, I'll do it tomorrow, that's what you believe. But now it's time to just do it. This is Just Do It July. And next week, we're going to go into chapter 2 and 3, which is the second and third agreement, right? So if you haven't got your book, it is the 4 agreements, all right? So wisdom book, it looks like this. Get your book. It's really quick. We're going to run through this book really quick, but it's a very, very powerful book, right? The 4 agreements. Yeah, be impeccable with your word. The second one is going to be real fun. Don't take anything personal. The third one, don't make assumptions. And the fourth one, always do your best. But we're going to go through the second and third next week. Week after, we'll go through the fourth and also the last chapter of the book, which is The Path to Freedom. And then the last week, we'll go through the New Dream and also prayers. Guys, I hope you have been blessed by this mindset call today. I wanted to honor your time and finish on time. We have 2 minutes left. Anybody want to just share real quick? I'll mute you. What you've taken from today. I want to hear some actions. I always give you guys homework. What I also want to do is I've got 2 places left that I'm offering up for the retreat. Only 2 places because I've got an event in a couple of weeks' time where I'll be giving out the last 2 places there. So I want to honor that event to give out 2 places there. If you want to come, it's a women's only retreat, this one. The event is mixed. Men and women can come to that event. Please make sure you get your ticket. But if you want to come to the retreat itself, send me a message, okay, saying retreat, and I will send you the application form. There is an interview process. It's not for everyone, guys. But if you do want to come, there are 2 places left. Please message me because I'll be shutting the doors after the event on the 22nd of July, okay? So only 2 places left. Please send me a message if you want to be at this women's retreat. I mean, it's going to be amazing. You know, what I've got planned for the women on that retreat is going to be brilliant. Also, as well, the event on the 22nd, we have, you know, is part 2 for the workshop. But even if you didn't come to part 1, you definitely want to be at part 2. Please make sure you get your tickets early bird. I extended it, I think, for the next 2 days because I was away and there was an issue with the codes. So if you want to get your early bird ticket, make sure you get your early bird ticket. I'll put those in the groups again, and bring a friend. If you've got your ticket, bring a friend, get somebody else in the room. If you was at the last one, you also get 2 tickets for free as well. So message me to get your 2 free tickets so that you can bring a friend into the room as well, okay? So yes, anybody want to just tell me your takeaways, homework? I will say after that. So I see Michelle. Let me ask Michelle, and we'll do one more. Put a 7 in the chat. The retreat is the 10th to the 12th of November. 10th to the 12th of November.
Right. So I've taken a few notes here, and there were more reminders. It was the one that I wrote down first was be intentional with your words. I know that, but you kind of slip into this negative mindset sometimes, and you know, you don't use your words properly. At least I know sometimes I don't use my words properly. So I had to write that one down and put big stars on it. Michelle, be intentional with your words. You know that, you know, fix up. And the agreements you have made, whether they are true or false, it's true to you. So again, it's about speaking into existence what you want. So those were my 2 biggest takeaways tonight.
Love that. Love that. And just remember as well, what the book talks about is it's sewn into your mind via repetition. So some of the things that we learned growing up, my mum didn't tell me to cook rice and peas once. She told me this over years. Like, this is years of repetition, years of her saying, cook rice and peas, cook rice and peas, cook rice and peas. So these paradigms are not just created with one word. You know, people say, oh, it takes 30 days to create a habit. No, rubbish. It doesn't. You know, it takes repetition. That's what's going to create a habit. Because if it took 30 days to create a habit, how come some of us do these 30-day blitzes, 30 days gym, 30 days this, and afterwards we go right back to how we were? So it doesn't take 30 days to create a habit. It actually takes repetition. We need to, and the same way we've got to retrain the mind is repetition. So I absolutely love that takeaway. You know, thank you for that, Michelle. Do we have one more person who can just share what they've taken from today? And if you're somebody that doesn't normally talk, how about you step out of your comfort zone and be that person to speak today? Be that person to say, hey, look, me, type in the chat, me, I'll unmute you. It'll be really great to hear from you guys. Next week, what I will be doing next week is I will be inviting you on to tell me what you've taken from the book from chapters 1 to 4, okay? Bev, let me unmute you. I see you put me in the chat. See if it will allow you to unmute.
Am I unmuted? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi.
Hey.
Hey. What I've taken away, Fennick, is that when you said that sometimes you know that people have come into your life to bless you, but you don't want to take advantage of that. And I've realised that in a couple of situations, because not stepping out because you don't want to upset somebody or you don't want them to think badly of you. But now I know that, you know, you should just do it, as you said.
Yes. I agree. And I think a lot of us have been in that position, Bev. And I think a lot of people can resonate with that. Like, I've had people even say to me, and I used to do this as well, with my mentor, oh, I don't want to bother you because you might be busy. And it's always thinking like, you know, I don't want to be a bother. I don't want to be annoyance. Have we ever thought like somebody, and that's because you regard them as more important than you. And nobody's more important than anybody. We're all human beings. Yes, there's honor, but if that person has been called to bless you and you are specifically not accepting and taking and using the blessing, then you are blocking your own blessing. Someone said that to me. I was like, oh my God, I've been blocking my blessing the whole time because I'm scared to message. Even now, when I message my mentor, I'm like, okay, let me make sure it sounds properly. It's like now, well, not now, but you know, before. Now, I don't care. I'm messaging, even though I don't get a response, I'm constantly messaging, constantly voice noting, constantly in contact, because I'm going for what I know I'm entitled to, and I'm entitled for someone to pour into me. And it took a while for me to accept that, because before I'd be so just figuring it out for myself, because that's what we were taught as well. Don't ask nobody for nothing. You know, you know, don't ever ask for no, because they'll throw it in your face or they'll use it against the family. You know, so all these paradigms that have been sewn into my mind. Don't tell anyone your business. You know, don't speak anything about family business outside. But actually, those things are lies, more lies. You know, I'm uncovering all these lies that's been told to us, because how many of us can agree that it's probably strangers that have helped us in life more than family sometimes? Sometimes it's speaking, like, have you ever spoken about a problem to someone and they're like, oh, I know someone who could fix that? I'll give you an example. I spoke to somebody who's not family and I was like, oh my God, I've got a leak. And they were like, oh, I know someone who can fix that. Within 10 minutes, they came and they fixed the leak. But if I'd have kept that secret, don't tell anyone your business, I'd been there struggling, looking for someone to fix the leak. So this stuff, it works in, you might think it's just a small thing, but it works in everything. It works in everything. And so it's Dean said, I think it's misplaced protectionism. I like that word. Yeah, I think so. And let's be honest, guys, it doesn't mean our parents are bad. It doesn't mean that, in fact, they loved us so much. That's why I'm saying it's not always haters that are damaging us. Sometimes it's the one that loves us. Listen, years ago, my husband said to me, "You're damaging your son if you keep doing this. You're damaging him." What was I doing? I was being too motherly. Let the boy explore. Let the boy do what he needs to do. I was damaging him by holding him in, keeping him like, you know, oh, don't let him go outside. He might fall over. Don't do this. He might do it. It's like sometimes the people that love you the most can actually damage you without realizing it. And so we've got to make sure that we're not doing the damaging because we want to be overprotective, or we want to make sure everything's perfect. In life, we learn from the lessons. And so I think that's a very, very good point. So homework, guys, here's what I want you to do. All right. And you know the 48-hour rule. If you don't do it in 48 hours, you're probably not going to do it. And I do, for those of you inside my mentorship group on the Telegram group, I want to see your homework now inside the chat, because you guys are just, you're playing me, and I ain't getting played no more, right? The playing is over. It's just do it July. So I want you to write 3 things off the back of today's session that you are doing, are going to do, or have done based on what we've spoken about today. 3 things. 3 things that you are going to do off the back of it. In fact, I want you guys to put that in the Rebuild community chat within 48 hours. If you're smart, you do it straight away after the call. 3 things. How many, guys? How many? 3. 3 things that you're going to do off the back of it. It doesn't matter how big or small, but I want you to, you know, really, really be intentional. Just do it July. I will also put in the information for the retreat inside the chat. And I will also put in the information for the event on the 22nd. All right. Love you all, guys. I'm going to see you all soon. Take care. God bless. Next week, Monday, potentially will be the same time, if not 9:15. And we're going to look at the other agreements. All right. Those of you doing your Instagram stuff, take your screenshots, tag me in. I pray I'm going to see your 3. I'm going to put it in here. 3 things, please. Drop your 3 things. And let's be very, very intentional about what we are doing. Okay. God bless you. Love you too, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Take care. God bless. And let's go.